Okay. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jennifer from Glasgow Science Centre, and I am part of the STEM Futures team at the Science Centre. Today, I've been asked to come on and talk a little bit about cybersecurity and the workshops that we do as part of the STEM Futures project. So normally we would do this workshop to third and fourth year pupils, but it can be flexible to a slightly wider audience. I'm going to be sharing quite a few tabs on my computer because it's a little bit of a technology-based workshop, so I'll be flipping about a bit and I will try and get it as correct as I possibly can. So I'm going to start off with sharing a handbook that we use in the workshop here. Now this is called the Hacker's Handbook. So today we are going to be hackers, and I've been a little bit naughty, all right? So just to give you a bit of a disclaimer, all of the information in this workshop is correct as of February 2020, but all of the companies, people and websites used in this workshop are completely fictional. So it's okay that I've been a little bit naughty and I've been a bit of a hacker. So what we're going to be doing today is I went down to my local Bank of Glasgow branch and they were doing a bit of a raffle. People had been dropping their business cards into a bowl to enter a raffle, and what I did was I picked some up and I took some home with me. And we're going to see if we can use some of the information on those business cards to see if we can find out some of the personal information and hack into some of the personal accounts of these people whose business cards I've managed to get my hands on. So we'll be using this Hacker's Handbook as we go through. I'll try and bring it up as often as I possibly can, just so if you want, you can follow along. So I'm going to stop sharing this just now and jump over to our business cards. So what we're going to do today is we've got a few business cards. We're just going to use one. So if I was to bring, can I bring up the chat at the same time? That is a question. Possibly yes, possibly no. I'll see if I can work on that. So let's go for the lovely George Wilson. So he's a mortgage broker. All right, so maybe he has a reasonably good income, and maybe he's got a good social media presence promoting his business and things like that. So lots of people nowadays use social media. So the most common social media that I would think that people share their information on is, as you know, Bookface. All right, so we're going to try and get into Georgie's Bookface here and see if we can find out a little bit more about him. So we've got his email address here. So we've got george@gwmortgages.co.uk. So let's type in that. GW, try and spell everything correctly as well. gwmortgages.co.uk. All right, now we need to try and get George's password. So the way that we can do that is by doing something that's similar to what we would call a brute force attack. So we would just try as many passwords as we possibly can to try and get into George's Bookface account here. Now, there's certain passwords that's more common than others. So while I try and get the chat thing up, can you type in chat the most common passwords that you think are currently in use in the world? All right, so if you type your most common passwords, I'll give you a wee second to do that. Hey, we've got chat, fantastic. All right, yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's a good common password. Yeah, do you think there's any other ones? Maybe just give you 10 more seconds to have a wee think. Yep, password, that's another, probably a very common one. Yep. A laptop, yep. All right, now I have a way that we can find the current most common passwords here. I've got a wee website here called Download Central. Now, you might have seen one of these websites in the past. where you go into to download something and you've got a load of different download buttons, and chances are only one of them will take you to the place that you're actually looking for. And if you click on, you know, any of the other ones, oh, you've clicked on a dodgy link. So if you click on a dodgy link, that could potentially download a virus, malware, or take you to somewhere that you didn't want to go. So we don't want to click on any of these dodgy links. Now, one of the ways that we can get around clicking on these dodgy links is by having a look at where they'll take us before we actually go there. Now, if I was to hover over this button, but don't click, all right, if you look at my screen down in the bottom right-hand corner, I'm hoping that I'm pointing in the right direction, you'll see a black square that says https://passwordlist.netlify.app, and you've got some gibberish there. Now, I don't know what that gibberish is, so I don't want to click on it. All right, now we can have a look down at all these different download buttons. Now, if I was to click on this one, oh, dodgy link again, all right, evil laugh. So we go down the list, looking at that black book, all right? So all of them seem gibberish, apart from this second one. Now, every time I clicked on that, all the links were changing. And now that second one says, the little black square down in the bottom left-hand corner says passwordlist.txt. Now that sounds like something that we can work with. So let's click on that and see how close your answers were. So the top 10 most commonly used passwords currently in the world are password, password1, 123123, ABC 123, 123456789, QWERTY, QWERTY 123, I love you, football, and let me in. So that is the top 10 passwords. Now, with that information, I think we can possibly get into Georgie's book face. So let's give that a try. All right, so let's see if it's the first one. No. Let's try the second one. Now I'm just copying and pasting these just to be quick. All right. Let's try the third one. Nope. Fourth one. Try that. Oh, I've got to be getting close now, right? Come on, George. At least he hasn't gone for password. That is reassuring. If he's dealing with your mortgage, you don't want someone that's gone for password. And the question is, has anyone that's watching just now ever used password as their password? Aha, we're in. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, Chrome is giving me a notification that I don't need just now. All right, so let's see what George has been up to on his Facebook. I'm on a 10 a.m. flight to Ibiza and I'm out of coffee. Feel sorry for me, internet. Oh, he's on a 10 a.m. flight. That is not accurate as of February 2020. That's not aged well, that post. I'm Earl Speedy McDonald of Stirlingshire. Done a 5K run, so he's fairly fit. All right, so let's see what we can do with this personal information of his to see if we can get into his Bank of Glasgow account. Chances are he banks at Bank of Glasgow because he left his business card in that bowl. So let's see if we can get in, oh my goodness, so many emails, to that Bank of Glasgow. Now, what password do you, he used QWERTY as his password, all right? So people use QWERTY quite a lot, as you might have noticed. It is the top letters on the top of the keyboard. So let's see if we can log into his banking just with that same details. All right. Google is not happy with these poor quality passwords. Now here, with banking pages, they tend to be a bit higher security than social media pages. So we've got these security questions here. So we're going to have to figure out the answers to these security questions to get into his online banking. Now, there is a way that we can do this, and you might have seen posts like this on your Facebook. You might have taken part in posts like this on your Facebook, where someone posts up, you know, what what is your royal title, where you put in your birth month, your mother's maiden name, where you were born, your first pet's name, this sort of personal information about you. But the thing is, with participating in these, you're sharing information that is very commonly used as a security question information. All right, so someone that is on your social media or potentially looking at your social media from the outside, depending on how you've got your privacy settings set up, they can potentially find out the information that you have used as your security questions. So the security questions that we're looking at here is, what is your mother's maiden name? And what is the name of the town/city where you were born? So let's have a look. So let's see, does this ask? It does ask for mother's maiden name. So it's going to be the birth month is the first word. First pet's name is the second word. Mother's maiden name is the third word. So I think his mother's maiden name is McDonald. So let's go and test that. All right, fantastic. All right, the name of the town/city where you were born. I wonder if that's there too. All right, so the last word, Stirlingshire. Now, this asks you to put shire on the end, so I think we just want to put Stirling. And let's copy that and put it in here. Copy and paste. All right, so we've managed to get his password. We've managed to get his security questions. And let's see if we got them right. Aha, excellent. We are in. We are into George's bank account. Now, I can't quite see here how much he's actually got, but it's somewhere in the 4 figures. Now, because I am being a hacker today, and every good hacker has a good offshore banking account. All right, so what I think we should do next is transfer some of George's money into our offshore banking account. Now, normally when we do this with schools, I would have this screen here up on a big screen behind me at the front of the classroom. It wouldn't be connected to anything else. And you would have a full classroom of teams working through that system there, like hacking the passwords, like guessing the passwords and getting the security questions. And then they would have to send as much money as possible in 20 minutes to this offshore banking account. So let's give it a try and see what we can do. So let's just go for 7,000. So let's go for amount being 7,000. And the reference being, let's go for something that might look normal. So George here quite often gets an Uber. He's been to the ATM at the BBC. He's been to Sports Direct. So let's pretend that he did another shopping trip at Sports Direct. All right, going for £7,000. Let's get our sort code, which is this, and our account number, which is this. Head on back. Now let's see, can I move this? Hey, excellent. Let's see if I hit send. Hopefully that should go through relatively quickly. Come on, technology, don't let me down. Don't catch me being naughty. Let's go across here. All right, is it going to work for me? Usually it's fairly instant at the Science Centre. Science Centre's got a good internet connection, but I don't think it's going to be instant today. Let's just leave that for a second and let it do its thing. So if I stop sharing for a second and switch back over to our Hacker's Handbook here. All right, hopefully you can all see that. My chat window's gone AWOL. There we go. All right, so we'll go back to that and see if it's transferred in a second. But what we're doing here is a few different techniques that hackers very commonly use and cybersecurity experts have to defend websites against. So there is going to be a massive spike in the amount of careers that are in the cybersecurity industry in the next 2 years. They're expecting the amount of people they need to increase by about 500%. So if you're thinking about what sort of career to go into in the future, maybe cybersecurity might be the one for you, because there are lots of opportunities in it. So some of the things we've been looking at today is we've been looking at a brute force attack, trying lots of passwords until we find the correct one. We've also been looking at file downloads as well. So using all of those fake file download buttons to try and get you to go somewhere that you didn't intend to go. Hackers and sort of people that would take advantage of people not being an expert on the internet would quite often use fake file downloads to get you to download their software instead of the stuff that you're actually looking to download. Another one that we looked at as well is called data harvesting. So looking on social media for personal information that can help you answer security questions on other websites. So there's different ways of protecting yourself like that. So when you're setting up security questions online, treat the answers like passwords. Make sure you can remember them, but don't let anyone else know what answer it is you picked or how the answer is typed. And don't join in with data harvesting posts. Now that you know what they are, don't join in with them. Another one is competition scams that you see on things like Bookface and Twitter and things like that. You'll quite often come up with fake competitions. One you see all the time is for holidays. So it'll be like free weekend away in a hot tub when you like, subscribe and share. And when you actually look at their social media page, it's only a week old or only has posts saying like, subscribe and share to win. And what they can sometimes do is they can say that, hey, you've won. What we just need you to do is pay the taxis on the holiday. Like, we can give you the holiday for free, but can you pay the taxis on the holiday? They'll take money off you to pay these imaginary taxes, and they'll never give you the holiday. So that is some of the things that hackers will quite often try and catch you out with. So let's see if that money has made the transfer yet. Let's have a look. Where were we? We're here. Have we got any extra pennies in our account? Let's have a look. Ah, dang it, technology's let me down. What a shame. No money for me to go on a holiday today. It's just going to be George going to Ibiza. That's okay though. So if I come back to, oh, hang on. Come back to this one here. All right, we can have a bit of, gone and clicked on something I didn't mean to. I am very silly. Let's go for that. All right, so let's bring the chat back up in case anyone wants to speak to us. Chat, chat, chat. Where's the chat option gone? It's disappeared on me. Here we go. All right, so as I said, there's lots of opportunities in cybersecurity, and you don't necessarily need a degree level qualification to get into them. So if you are worried about where your qualifications are sitting, I know that's been a topic of high anxiety over the last couple of weeks. Maybe your qualifications are exactly where you expected them to be, or they're a little bit lower. There are multiple ways to get into cybersecurity. So one of the ways that you can do that is via internships or apprenticeships. Now, one of the jammy things about apprenticeships is that you can go and work for a company, you can earn money, which is fantastic. So you could be a fresh out of school leaver, earning money, getting paid to do your qualification. And as opposed to maybe people that would choose to go and do cybersecurity at a university or at a college full time, by the time they've finished their qualification, you have already got a few years of experience under your belt, and you don't have anywhere near the amount of student debt that you might have had if you went to full-time university. Again, if you've got any questions about any of this, please put it in the chat and I'll see it as it pops up. So a couple of the people that we know have apprenticeships for things like cybersecurity is people like Barclays, people like JP Morgan. So the STEM Futures project is in collaboration with Barclays and JP Morgan, and we've also worked with Morgan Stanley as well. So all these big banking companies put so much money and effort into making sure that their systems are really, really secure. So given that Barclays and JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley didn't make my banking websites today, what I'd like, if there's, just to check that you were all paying attention, was there anything that you saw in my websites here today that looked a little bit dodgy? All right, so if you saw anything that looked a bit dodgy or maybe unrealistic, if you mention it in chat now, I'll give you maybe 30 seconds to have a think, all right, and stick in chat and you can go, hey, what about this? This isn't right, all right, because obviously these are not the genuine websites, all right, so you can put your cybersecurity brain on and think, what about these websites was not accurate? So if I go back, I can have a look at Bank of Glasgow and our book face. So I can log out of these. Log out. Where's my logout button? It's over here. So I'll log out of the banking app as well. So if you have a wee think about things on this website that maybe wasn't something that you'd see in real life. Here's the chat going. I keep clicking on it and it has disappeared on me. Something actually to read in there as well. Haha! Bookface. Yeah, so something dodgy about Bookface. Now, let's see, what could so Martina, you say Bookface looked dodgy. What about it looked dodgy? If you can remember. The wrong name. Yeah, absolutely. That can definitely be something that you could potentially easily be caught out by. Now, I've called mine Bookface because I don't want anyone to come after me for any copyright things. But yeah, absolutely. So a slight misspelling in the name of a website could be a way for you to accidentally end up on a website that you didn't intend, and putting in your password and email into a fake version of the website and accidentally giving away your personal details. So maybe if you typed in Google but accidentally put 3 O's, or maybe you put google.co instead of google.com, it might take you to someone who had set up a version that was very, very similar. It looked almost identical. It asked you to log in. And when you logged in, you found you'd actually just put in your login details into a fake version. And now they were able to get logged into your Google account and cause all sorts of madness and mayhem, which is not what you want. Yeah, so having the wrong name is a really important thing you should look out for when you're navigating around the internet. Did anyone see anything wrong with the Bank of Glasgow website? Anything dodgy looking about that? Give you a couple of seconds and then I'll point out a couple of things. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a really good one. Thank you, Martina. So it let you put in the wrong password too many times and it didn't lock you out. Absolutely. Any decent system that was set up by good cybersecurity experts and software developers would lock you out either permanently until you reset it by phoning up the bank or by requesting a password reset, or would lock you out for a certain period of time. I know if you put in the wrong password into your phone, it will lock you out for progressively longer and longer amounts of time. And that is a really good way of stopping people from brute forcing into your accounts. That is a really good one. Another one is, if with the Bank of Glasgow, it's very, very unusual for them to ask you to use your email address as one of the ways of logging in, because it's quite a public form of information. So normally they would ask you to use a username. So I have a username for one bank. I've got completely different, unintelligible string of letters and numbers for another bank account that I have, but they don't ask for my email address when I'm logging in, because loads of people know my email address. Another one would be having just one password. Sometimes they would ask you for a password and a secret number, or a password and a secret word, as well as those security questions as well. So banks have very, very high amounts of security, so they can ask you for lots of different things before they actually let you log in. The apps are a little bit different. If you have a banking app on their phone, sometimes they'll ask for a secret number and your fingerprint, if you've got that capability on your phone as well. So yeah, that was definitely some of the things that were a little bit dodgy, because these websites were made for the workshop and not the real thing. But you can see the difference between what would be a bit of a unreputable website compared to the websites that you would use every single day. And it helps you to get familiar with the things you should look out for and what cybersecurity developers and experts would do to keep you safe while you're online. Let's have a look. Was there anything else that I meant to talk about? Does anyone have any questions about anything that we covered to do with these exploits today, or to do with careers in cybersecurity? If you do, stick them in the chat. I'll do my very best to answer them. And another thing to think about is whether what we did today was difficult. So some of the things you might recognize those data harvesting scams, and are they difficult for some cheeky person to set up? Probably not. If I made that in Word, I think, or Paint, one of the two, or attempting to brute force password, potentially someone could even look over your shoulder as well. So have a think. Not everything hackers do has to be clever or genius level. But if we don't have any questions, that's absolutely fine. But if you think of something later, or would like some information on getting into careers in cybersecurity, please check out the My World of Work website. It's very, very good for lots of careers information. Skills Development Scotland, which is similar to My World of Work, also has information on things like apprenticeships or graduate level courses, so you can check them out. And thank you very much. I think that is all I have for today. So again, if you think of any questions, let us know. Send them to me by smoke signal, email, via comments on YouTube. And that is everything. So I am going to hang up. Thank you very much.